Coming of Age is coming up next. I'm your host, Emily Echeverria. First today, we're discussing a common but treatable men's health issue. Next, we'll be discovering what's new at Pensacola Little Theater and what to expect on the stage this season. Finally, we're talking with Council on Aging of West Florida's own Josh Newby about the programs and services available to older adults and caregivers in our community. Stay with us. Coming of Age starts right now. As we age, staying active and connected to community can sometimes become more challenging. But with Council on Aging of West Florida's broad range of home and community-based services, you can stay healthy, independent, and engaged in life. From Meals on Wheels and respite care to senior dining sites and the retreat, we provide the support and connection you need to age your way. Aging is a unique journey for everyone, and we're here to help you meet your needs and thrive while preserving what makes you, you. Since 1972, we've been a trusted advocate for elders and a support system for those who care for them. Now, let's dive into the age-related issues that matter most to you. Gilda Digman, MD, is a highly trained, board-certified urologist who offers patients quality, convenient treatment and diagnosis of a wide scope of urologic conditions at Baptist Medical Group Urology. She's here today to discuss male urinary and sexual health issues. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, what exactly is erectile dysfunction and how common is it?
It's actually pretty common. So 1 in 5 men over the age of 20 will experience some sort of erectile dysfunction. It gets more common as the men age. So after 40, 50, they come in and they're having worsening erectile dysfunction symptoms. And the definition is a failure to either get an erection or maintain an erection.
So it really does happen to a lot of guys.
It does happen a lot. Mm-hmm. It's very common. Mm-hmm.
So joking aside, what are some of the causes?
Some of the causes have to do with cardiovascular disease risks. So if a man has any diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, if he smokes, a lot of the times that also places him at risk for erectile dysfunction. Other risk would be neurologic. So if a man has ever had pelvic surgeries, including a prostate removal for prostate cancer, they can definitely suffer from ED. And then other things, when we see younger men or men that don't really have an organic erectile dysfunction, a lot of times we can describe it as a psychogenic ED, where they're kind of just anxious. It kind of stems from anxiety.
Okay. So in some ways it can be kind of something letting you know that something else might be going on in your body as well.
Right. So a lot of times I encourage men to reach out to their primary care doctor if they don't have one, to be screened for any cardiovascular disease risks. Get their blood pressure taken, get a hemoglobin A1C, encourage smoking cessation, just things that'll make them healthier and live longer. You know, that can actually be one of the early signs of cardiovascular disease.
Interesting. So what are some of the myths about erectile dysfunction?
Some of the myths that I hear is that low testosterone can cause ED, and actually that's true. It can actually have a component and play a component to it. So I do try to replace testosterone to normal levels if someone is found to have low. And a lot of times the guys do notice a better erection with a normalization of their hormones. So that is a true myth. One of the other myths is that I treat a lot of enlarged prostates, so just kind of obstructive symptoms. And one of the things that they are concerned about is losing erections with a enlarged prostate surgery, and that's not true. The erectile nerves are around the prostate and not within the prostate. So when they're thinking about any prostate surgery dealing with erectile dysfunction, that's more of the prostate removal for prostate cancer and not necessarily for BPH or enlarged prostate.
Gotcha. So at what point should a man reach out to his urologist about this issue?
So a lot of the times I get referrals from the primary care doctors after they've tried a couple of options and failed them. I encourage any man who has erectile dysfunction to reach out to their primary care doctor to get the appropriate lab work and workup like I was talking about. But really any time that they want to discuss this with their urologist, they can come see us and we can give them all the options. We can do a thorough workup and we can just kind of take it from there.
Okay. What are some of the treatment options that you can give someone dealing with this?
So a lot of times I have a brochure in front of me and the patient, and we talk about the different options, which are the first things that they really like to try are medications. So we have things like Cialis, Viagra, Levitra that they can take as pills before sexual activity. Sometimes that's sufficient, and sometimes guys do stop there. Some of the side effects, though, kind of keep them from taking it further. So sometimes they get headaches, flushing, sometimes it can affect blood pressure, and then we have to move on to the different treatment options like injections. It sounds scary at first, but it is a potent medication that goes directly into the penis. And that is through compounding pharmacies. Alprostadil is a common medication for that. It's almost immediate, so that's always nice. They're not waiting around as opposed to the medication options. But you have to be okay with needles. Mm-hmm. So that's one option. Another option that I don't really find popular nowadays is intraurethral suppository, so actually inserting a suppository with the potent medication so that it disperses into the erectile tissues to get erections. And there's something called the vacuum erection device that men tend to use if they have mild ED. It's basically an external device that helps the blood flow get to the tissues. And then the last part is the surgical option. So a lot of men come in not expecting to get that surgery, but if all else fails, or if they're just kind of tired of the frustrations behind the medications and the injections, we do go forward with the surgery, and it seems to be pretty successful.
So tell me more about the surgery and how it works.
So the actual surgery is insertion of penile prosthesis. So there's two typical types of prosthetics. There's one single semi-rigid rod that we place into the penis to help the man maintain an erection. It is all the time, so they're kind of bending it back and forth, but it's for the men that don't really have the appropriate dexterity or reach. The best option is probably the 3-piece inflatable penile prosthesis. It involves a reservoir that is placed next to the bladder. It involves a pump that goes into the scrotum, and then 2 cylinders that go into the corporal bodies of the penis, into the actual penis that leads to erections. So while it's an artificial erection, right, your tissues are not becoming erect, it does allow for the penis to get erect and rigid enough for penetration. So it's a good satisfaction rate. It's about above 90% satisfaction rate with the men and their partners. So that's always something to think about, because a lot of times the other options are very frustrating, like I said. Yeah. And it's a pretty straightforward surgery. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes to put it in. I do keep my guys overnight just for comfort, and I keep it draining just to prevent like the bleeding risk and stuff. But a lot of the guys really do have good response with it.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And just quickly, what do you have coming up that people might want to know about?
So Baptist has actually set me up for some wellness seminars. So I have one coming up at the Bear Foundation building April 8th at noon, and that's going to be on the 2nd floor conference center. And then I have another one at the 9 Mile Medical Park Center April 30th at noon, and
Excellent.
That's going to be in the Azalea room.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for letting us know about this.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We're putting a spotlight on Pensacola Little Theater coming up next.
It's important to get a flu shot. each and every year because flu viruses are constantly changing and immunity from the vaccine decreases over time. Flu vaccines are updated annually to work against that year's viruses. The best time to get your shot is in the fall, but getting it later can still help. Getting a flu shot lowers your risk of getting sick, and if you do happen to get flu, it's likely to be less severe.
Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
When cancer tries to take you away from the things that matter most, Baptist Cancer Institute offers caring physicians and the most innovative treatment options. With convenient locations and a wide array of support programs and services, we're here to help you during the most difficult of times. As a member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, we're bringing even more innovative cancer care to our community right here at home. When you need cancer care, we'll be there.
Pensacola Little Theater is a nonprofit community theater with decades of history, and it's one of the pillars of the city's arts and cultural scene. Along with a wide range of stage productions and special events, there are some exciting new additions to the center. We have Executive Director Kathy Holsworth here to tell us more about what we can expect from this season and beyond. Thank you for joining me today.
I'm so glad to be here. Currently serving as Artistic Director and Executive Director, and so it's been a big deal to kind of be in charge of everything, but the building is beautiful. We're still at the tail end of, but we've just sort of completed our capital campaign that we started in 2022, so a lot of beautiful renovations. We've been in the cultural center now called the Clark Family Cultural Center since 1996, and it needed some love and some new dress-up things, and so she's beautiful. And everybody's very excited about also the rooftop bar, which is adding a fourth story to the building.
Yep.
It's actually been a long-term dream, apparently way back in the 90s when they wanted to, when they renovated the old jail into our building, there was a dream to have a bar up there even way back then. And so this capital campaign allowed that dream to come true.
Wow, 30 years in the making for that dream.
Right.
Amazing.
And it is PLT's bar. We've got a great company running at 1559 Hospitality because we're theater makers, not drink makers.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point of that is to create cash flow that helps us keep making great community theater.
Absolutely. And if people haven't been to the PLT in a while or the center, I went recently after not going before the renovations, and it's gorgeous inside. It looks like a totally different space. It's so stylish, contemporary, but cozy and very nice. I love the new look.
Thanks. We're very proud of the designs, and part of our mission is actually to be good stewards of our historic buildings. So when you go in, you still see the exposed brick in the atrium that was part of the external walls from the old county jail that the building was originally in the early 1900s. And then we've remodeled our courtroom space so that it is really a theater space where we also have parties.
Yes.
And in the old days, it was a party space where we sometimes had theater. And all of the main atrium has been remodeled, so we've got these beautiful leather and wood seats and a great new darker color palette, which is better for our lighting designers, and there's really just some elegance to it. And of course we added energy efficiency and new sound and better lighting and things that not only make it look elegant but will stay elegant.
Yeah, and it looks gorgeous, but yeah, there's all these behind the scenes things that give it a better overall experience as well, for sure.
Right.
While you told me a little bit about your role, tell us a little bit about the mission. You mentioned a little bit of it, but tell us more about that.
Well, community theater is all volunteer theater, and the players, your community, your neighbors, your citizens that live here, we like to tell stories, and so we have ways for volunteers to tell stories on all of our stages. We have our main stage series, which is the traditional mix of comedies, musicals, and dramas. We have our Treehouse Family theater, which is children's theater, but it's also family theater. A lot of times we have our holiday shows, our treehouse, and that allows grown-ups to be grown-ups and tell great stories like Mary Poppins and Shrek, but also Charlie Brown and Best Christmas Pageant Ever, and fantastic stories like that. But we also have our Studio 400 series, which is our very grown-up theater, and it's performed in our courtroom space, limited audience. It's often edgy works, very adult in content, or it might be unpublished works. So we're also supporting our writers as well as our performers, directors, designers. And it's all done out of the goodness of our creative hearts. Humans have a need to tell stories. You know, we dance and we sing before we ever actually even have words. And we can see that in every baby we know. And so it is a great joy to provide that part of the storytelling to our community.
So what are some of the shows and events that are coming up in the next few months?
Well, the end of January, beginning of February is our Studio 400 production of Perfect Arrangement. And this is a comedy that also has a serious message in it. It is based on the true stories of government workers in the 50s during the McCarthy era that had to live lavender lives. That is, they were queer couples, but they, in public, they look like heterosexual couples so that they can keep their government jobs. And Perfect Arrangement is a great tongue-in-cheek way to tell that story. It's directed by Renee Jordan and has some of our great actors on stage, some of our favorites. Lainey Gibson and Eleanor Armani and Mo McNeil and Nathan Simmons, Anthony Mowad, Jessica Wade, and these actors are telling this story about folks that were struggling. We always think of the good old days, but there have always been people who had to hide themselves from the public.
Absolutely. Anything else coming up in the next few months that
we're very excited? We just had auditions for our next Treehouse production that's going to be in March, and that is Six, the teen edition. It is a musical about the 6 wives of Henry VIII, and it is basically a pop concert. Each one of the 6 wives has a vocal quality like Avril Lavigne, Adele, Ariana Grande, and they sing about who they are in Henry's life, and then they realize that rather than competing with each other, they're going to use their girl power to unite and represent the 6 powers of women.
That sounds super fun. What are some opportunities that people can get involved at the theater?
Well, we have open auditions for every single show. So you have to check out our website, PensacolaLittleTheater.com, and there's a Get Involved page there. If you don't want to be on stage, but you want to usher, or you want to help build sets, or you're a good painter, or you actually still use a sewing machine, we love those people too. So anything that we do at PLT is volunteer-based, and you just walk in the door. We can't put you to work if we don't know that you're out there wanting to play with us. The auditions are open to anybody, and information about auditions is on our website. If you want to do some of the tech things, you can reach out to me directly, artistic@PensacolaLittleTheater.com, and I'm happy to connect you with the right department, the right team, put you on the right production team, get you in touch with Kayla, who's our technical director, who builds and designs and electrifies all of our sets. So there's lots of ways that we find folks a place in our community theater.
Awesome. Well, I'm hoping for more theater in my 2026, and we hope the community is there as well.
Fantastic. Come tell stories with us.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
You bet.
Up next, we're checking in with Council on Aging's President and CEO, Josh Newby. Stay with us.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
For many families, long holiday visits can bring to light the challenges and struggles that aging parents and other relatives are experiencing, and the new year offers an opportunity to start planning for care. Council on Aging is here to offer support programs like Meals on Wheels and adult daycare, and we've got President and CEO Josh Newby here to tell us more about the services our agency offers. Thanks for joining me today, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, for those that don't know, tell us about the programs and services of Council on Aging.
Yeah, great question. So Council on Aging exists to enable seniors to remain living at home for as long as possible with dignity and independence. And we also exist to help the caregivers of those seniors, whether it's the adult children, spouse, sibling, because very many elder adults want to continue being engaged in their community. They want to give back. They just need a little help at home, as we all do from time to time. So we go into the home and we provide the services, all of the non-medical services that they may need in order to remain living at home and in order to give the caregivers a break. Meal preparation, transportation, adult daycare, companionship, more intensive social services such as toileting and bathing. Yeah, the list goes on and on.
So you talk a lot about the silver tsunami, and Florida is a silver state, we say.
Right.
So tell me what that is and what people are going to be seeing in the future as the silver tsunami comes for us all.
Yeah, well, since COVID, population growth in Florida has really increased beyond what it was already experiencing. A statistic that I cite quite frequently is that, you know, the city of Orlando moves to Florida every year. That is, population equal to the city of Orlando is coming to Florida each and every year, and like I said, that's only increased since COVID. Half of the people moving here, so half of the population of Orlando, are seniors, 60 and over. So there is this mass migration to Florida, South, Central, Northwest Florida, of elder adults who are generally able-bodied, who are coming here from places up north or places out west, but they aren't going to be able-bodied forever, right? They may not have their full mental capacities forever. So there is this impending storm of seniors who are going to need our assistance. And unfortunately, the state could be better positioned than we are to help alleviate some of those challenges.
And where do you think those strains will be felt?
I think they are felt particularly hard in our nursing community, among hospitals and in-home nursing. They're felt in in-home caregiving. And caregivers, the unpaid caregivers who are giving literally tens of millions of hours a year of unpaid labor to their spouses, their parents, their brothers or sisters. And that fatigue is real. The fatigue in the medical system, which has again only increased since COVID. The strain on our in-home care network is extremely difficult to manage, especially with inflation, rising costs of labor, decreasing reimbursement rates, and like I said, the actual family pressure that the caregivers feel.
Last year, we experienced a bit of a roller coaster with funding issues, meal suspensions with our congregate dining sites. So talk to us about the status of that program.
Yeah, so I'm happy to report that we got a very generous grant from Covenant Health late last year of $500,000 that really helped set us straight. And it helped stabilize us, but I won't say that it positioned us very well for the future. I would say that is the federal and state government's job to do, as we are a state contractor. And just a brief statistic here, since the year 2000, the elderly population in Florida has doubled. But since that time, accounting for inflation, our appropriations to care for those seniors has actually decreased by 25%. So we are experiencing increasing demand and decreased resources to help them.
And I'm well aware of that kind of perfect storm that has made things very unpredictable, chaotic when planning for our year of service. But let's talk about some good things that are going on.
Sure.
What are some good things going on with the agency?
Yeah, well, our commitment to our seniors remains strong. We recently added a whole lot of clients thanks to some state appropriated funds. Dozens upon dozens of clients who have been on the wait list for a long time. We're finally able to make that phone call and tell them that their name is up. We are able to serve them. Our senior chill out program, which distributes air conditioners in the summer, remains very robust. We have a Meals on Wheels for Pets program to help seniors who care for dogs and cats, and I think that's very sweet. And we're looking at making some really interesting strategic expansions in the coming months, including adding a senior dining site. So good things are on the horizon. We have a great board, a great staff, great volunteers that enable that to happen, but definitely don't want to lose sight, like I said, of the challenges that we face.
Absolutely. And I'll add that additionally with those Covenant funds, we're expanding our retreat kitchen that we're really excited about for our adult daycare.
Yes.
So how can people get involved with the agency and the work we do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Any nonprofit is going to say money. Without money, you have no mission. So I always encourage folks to donate. They can donate online, they can mail a check, they can call us. Great thing about donating to Council on Aging is that we're able to use that money to pull down additional matching funds. So if you donate $1, you actually have $10 worth of impact. And then volunteer at our Meals on Wheels routes, senior dining sites, our retreat adult daycare. If you're interested in giving back to the senior community, give us a call and we will place you in somewhere that matches your passion.
And any last things you want people to know about Council on Aging?
I just want to remind people that if a friend or a neighbor or a coworker or fellow churchgoer is struggling to care for their loved one, or if they're struggling to care for themselves, please reach out to us. The help exists. Even if we are not the ones that can ultimately help you, we can connect you with people who can.
Perfect. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, enjoy life. You've earned it.